Welcome to another episode of Morgan Trials. This is going to be the first of multiple episodes as I kind of enter into the category of making my own alcohol. So for my birthday, I got one of these 5-liter 1,000 oak barrels that you can do kind of your own thing. You can put your own whiskey in it. You can get a grain alcohol or moonshine, put it in it, age it for a month or two, and you get whiskey. If you know anything about this, the smaller the barrel, the more surface area that it gets contacted with, and the whiskey ages quicker. We're gonna try it. I've already unboxed it. I've got it custom done. This is the Morgan whiskey from Wren's Nest Distillery. My son's name is Wren, so Wren's Nest Distillery. And yeah, so the first thing you have to do is you have to fill it with hot or boiling water to make the barrel expand and make it watertight. But before you do that, you gotta put in the stuff that comes with it. So what does it come with? It comes with sterilizing tablets that we'll put in with the water. It comes with we'll call it a cork, but to cork up the bung. So this is the bung hole. Yes, that's a real thing. And then on the front, we have our tap. So first thing we're gonna do, take the tape off the front. We're going to put the tap right here in the front. And then we'll turn that. And then we are going to uncover the bung hole. I cannot say bung hole without going immediately Beavis and Butthead. So just throwing that out there. So now we're gonna take this, and we're not going to seal this yet because we have to put boiling water in it. I put a pan under here and got a funnel. So we're gonna put boiling hot water. It says hot water, preferably boiling, so we're gonna do that. But I put a pan under here to catch the water because this thing is going to leak, and probably leak pretty bad until it expands over the next 1 to 5 days. So as this is a 5-liter barrel, we're gonna start. I've got about 1.5 liters of boiling water. Whoa. Okay. All right, so we got about 1.5 liters. While I've got that in there, we are going to put the sterilizing tablets in there. We're gonna put some more water in. All right, so now we're gonna put in another batch of extremely boiling hot water. By the way, the smell coming out of this is already amazing. You get that charred wine whiskey barrel smell from the char on the inside as the water is expressing it out. Oh my God, it smells amazing. All right. All right, last fill. We're gonna see how close this goes, considering this is a 5-liter, and I've got right at 5 liters of water gonna go into it. All right, and that completes 5 liters in there. It's pretty much just about full. So now we're gonna take the bung, put it on the bung hole. It closes up pretty good, but I've got a little mallet. We're gonna make sure it's sealed up really well. And it is. So one of the things it says is you should kind of shake it up a little bit. We put those tablets in there. I'm pretty sure that boiling water did it, but I'm not gonna lie. This thing is scalding hot from that water that's in there. So we're gonna just give it a little shake. All right. I'll tell you, I'm pretty happy. So far, there's no leakage anywhere that I can see so far. This thing looks like it was sealed pretty well. All right, so what's next? So we're gonna monitor this for the next 1 to 5 days. They said 24, 48 hours. I'm gonna leave it in here probably, today's Friday, probably on Sunday night I'll take a look. Then comes the fun part. We're gonna take the water out, and at that point it's been sterilized, it's sealed, we're good. But the normal process is you would put in a neutral grain spirit and age it for a while. What you're gonna do with that is you're probably gonna get a whiskey style that you're probably not gonna love, because there's a lot of astringency coming from the oak in this. It would be super smoky, super oaky, not something you'd want. But the other thing you can do is you can age it in something that a lot of people would like, which is you're gonna do something like a sherry cask or something like that. So I'm kind of torn. I haven't decided yet, and I've got 48 hours to figure it out. I'm either going to fill it with New Amsterdam vodka, a brand I represent, put 100 proof New Amsterdam vodka in there and see what it can do. It will come out with something good. It's going to pull out the astringency. It'll get it ready. And then we can go in and truly double oak age a bourbon, get a younger unaged bourbon, put it in here and age it. Or my other option, and I know a lot of people like using an Oloroso sherry or something like that. Well, homeboy's cheap. And I also represent a brand called Taylor. You may know it better for Taylor Port, but they do have a dry sherry. Listen, I'm just looking to coat it to get a little bit in there. All right, so welcome back. It's been about 5 days. We've had this thing sitting with water. I've turned it a couple of times. Now it's time to pour it out and fill it back up with something that's going to age it. In this time, I've done a lot of research. I've looked at a bunch of stuff and came to a couple conclusions. If we put anything decent in here now, it's going to get really astringent. It's going to pull out a lot of gnarly stuff. So first thing I'm going to do is actually put the sherry in it. I'm going to use 3 liters of Taylor dry sherry and then let that sit for a little bit. And then I'm actually going to introduce some good Oloroso sherry, just a good dry sherry on top of that. That should impart some better flavor and good stuff. This is a very basic cooking sherry, but we'll put some good quality sherry in there at the end. And then we're actually going to introduce some unaged whiskey, something just a good corn whiskey, something like that, and let it really pull it through. And then as I taste it, I may introduce some good blending whiskey in there to really get it to hit the profile that I want. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and get this water poured out. First thing, we're gonna take out the bung. Easier said than done. This thing's in there good. I'm actually gonna use some pliers, and I don't wanna damage it, so we're gonna put a cloth on it. And that worked like a charm. I got the bung loosened. The bung is now out. You can actually see it's very moist up on the top. I will say the bung has actually cracked. I don't know if you can see it, but it doesn't go all the way through, so I don't think it'll be an issue, but something to watch out for. All right, now time to empty. We're just gonna empty it from the top. I'll go ahead and tell you, there wasn't much evaporation in that time period. It's a lot of liquid in this, babe. All right, all the water's out, and it's okay if there's a little moisture left in this, since we're just gonna be kind of coating and aging the inside. Not that big of a deal. Now for the fun part. We're now gonna introduce Taylor Dry Sherry. Listen, this isn't a sherry you're gonna drink, but it imparts similar characteristics to what we're looking for. Even if you look at the back, it'll sit there and tell you it's a classically styled pale dry sherry with nuances of roasted nuts. It's like, it's kind of what we're looking for. We want that sherry flavor, but we'll introduce a very refined one to balance it out. So this is only gonna be about 2/3 full, and then I'll let that sit. We'll rotate it. We're gonna let this sit for probably 2 weeks. And then we'll maybe even go 3 weeks, I don't know. And then we'll introduce the good stuff. So, in we go. .5 liters. Now let's get it up to 3 liters. All right. Now we got 3 liters in there. Now, all we can really do is wait. And we'll check back on it in about 2-3 weeks. Probably in between there, we'll add, we'll top it off with some high-end sherry. Welcome back. Now it has been about 5 days since we put in the initial Taylor sherry. I was able to make a trip up to Nashville, and I was able to get a couple of bottles at Total Wine. These are not nationally known brands, but it's, I don't even know what it's actually called. Don Barino, whatever. Anyway, so I got a medium dry sherry, and then just another sherry. So I mean, these are both pretty dry sherries, which is what I was kind of going for. Remember, we had only put in 3 liters. So we're gonna add another 1.5 liters. So that's gonna put us just at about 4.5 liters. So we're gonna cap it off, put in the funnel, and we're gonna start putting in the sherries. All right, so now for the next sherry, let's pour it in. How does it smell? Well, it smells like sherry. Not something that I think most of you would ever drink. And most sherries are not drinking unless they're really high-end sherries. It can say dry all it wants. This is a fortified wine. It's very high alcohol. It's very portish. Most of them are more aperitivo dessert wines. You generally are gonna cook with this or mix it. What are we looking at here? Yeah, we're looking at 17.5%, so 35 proof just on the sherry. So pretty good. Being that high alcohol will pull out some of the astringency. I mean, it's not as high as putting in like 100 proof vodka for the first go, but if we had to put in something higher alcohol, we wouldn't have gotten the, it wouldn't have imparted flavor into the barrel. All it would have done is pulled flavor out of the barrel. So now we're gonna go in with the next one, the Fino sherry. Ooh, this one's not as straw colored. Well, still smells like sherry. So the first one was pretty golden color. This one's a little lighter. All right. So now we should have about 4.5 liters, probably a little bit of evaporation. So now we're going to, now that's poured in, we'll take out the funnel. Smells pretty good. We're gonna put that cork back in there. Oh yeah, that thing's pretty full. So we're gonna shake it up, kind of get that, get the Taylor and these new sherries to kind of blend a little bit. So yeah, so we'll twist. I'll probably come in here every couple of days and kind of angle it a little bit, let it sit on the barrel a little long. But yeah, so we got that in there. And we're gonna leave it. We're back up here in the bar now. So we're gonna let this age probably another week or 2 here in the barrel with the sherry. And then, heck, I may go to the end of August. So as of right now, it's the 1st of August. We may go till the end of August. That will give us, the whole goal on this is to have a good whiskey by Christmas. So if we do that, we've got all of September, October, November, and most of December. So that'd be 4 months aging in this. That'd be the equivalent of about 3 or 4 years in this size barrel. So we're gonna give it a go. I'm probably gonna leave this in here most of August. Okay, so now we're back. We've got the sherry in there. We're still gonna be letting it age. We've still got a few more weeks of aging, but I've made the decision on what I'm putting in because I'm in Atlanta. In Atlanta, there was very little white lightning, or not white lightning, white whiskey, any of that. All I could have gotten is really moonshine. I didn't want moonshine. That's very heavy corn. So what I decided is on my trip to Nashville, let's see what the stores have. As you know, you can't really buy really stuff from many of the distilleries, stuff like that. So it was pretty easy. I just went to Total Wine while I was up there, and they actually had George Dickel's white whiskey, which, you know what? George Dickel's pretty good. So we're gonna use that as our base. So I got effectively 3 liters worth of George Dickel white whiskey. Then I got 175 of their actual Tennessee whiskey, because I want there to be some good mastered whiskey in there that's not super aged. It's not what anybody would consider the greatest whiskey, but it's really good. So that's what we're gonna start with. We're gonna start with 3 liters of their white whiskey and then get it blended in a little bit with some of their finished whiskey. And we're gonna see how that goes. So once we pour it in there in 3 or 4 weeks, this is gonna be our base. We'll see how it goes.